One of the necessary skills for the STEM fields is to be able to solve an equation for an unknown value. This is significantly different from a typical algebra class where you're solving for a number. In science, there are values, and values have units. This complicates things, but that's the way it is. There are two basic responses to tackling complicated problems: ovine and lupine. Sheep-like or wolf-like. Sheep need someone to give them rules and protocols to follow. If you see this, do this. Wolves need to understand fundamentally what's going on. They don't want a rule. Rules are for people that don't understand. For example, adding fractions. There's a bunch of rules for manipulating fractions: adding, multiplying, dividing. For example, if you want to add 1/7 and 3/7, maybe the sheep remembers what the rule is, and if they do, they're fine. If they forget the rule, then they're stuck because they don't remember the rule. If you understand what's going on, you don't need a rule. So 1/7 plus 3/7. What's that? If the sheep forgets, they say, I don't remember. Do you add the bottom? Do you flip it? On one of them, you have to flip it upside down. I just don't remember. A wolf says, look, in a fraction, the numerator is how many you have, the number, and the denominator is the denomination. It's what it is. So 1 apple plus 3 apples is 4 apples, obviously. And 1/7 plus 3/7 is 4/7. If you have 1/7 and you add 3 more 7ths, then you have 4/7. If things go wrong, the sheep blame someone else. That's what they told me. It's unfair. You're setting me up for failure. If things go wrong for the wolves, they accept responsibility. And they don't make that mistake again. Oh, I see what you mean. That's a good point. I should have thought of that. For a sheep, a challenging problem is an unpleasant duty to be avoided. For a wolf, a challenging problem is an exciting opportunity to develop. If you want to get paid for your ideas, be a wolf. If you want to get paid for following directions, be a sheep. This program is wolf development. Humans are all born wolves. I have never met the 2-year-old sheep. All 2-year-olds are wolves. Sheep are created by education, the educational system. Sheep look to others to tell them how to behave, what to believe. They want to raise their hand and be told what to do. Wolves think critically about decisions and take responsibility. So here's a typical problem from an algebra class. Solve for x. There's the equation, and you can be trained to solve for x. Here's a typical problem from a physics class. Solve for y. Y has units. You're required to keep the units throughout. Y is not a number. So let's solve this equation for the variable y. We can start by doing some math. We have 10 meters per second quantity squared. Right here. We can square that. And then we can multiply the 2 by minus 10 meters per second squared. 10 meters per second quantity squared is 100 meters squared per second squared. You have to square the unit. And 2 times minus 10 meters per second squared is minus 20 meters per second squared. So now we have to solve for y. And we're going to extract the value of y from this equation. We're going to isolate it on one side. And the fundamental overarching concept here is to respect the equal sign. We have to respect the equal sign. Then we're going to be okay. If 2 lengths are equal, they're still going to be equal if you add a length, 4 meters, for example, to each of them. If 2 speeds are equal, if you divide them by 2, they're still going to be equal. So in this problem, we're going to extract the y, and it's a good start to subtract 100 meters squared per second squared from each side of the equation like this. And the reason why we're doing that is you want to peel away everything that's next to the y. So we get y by itself. And when we subtract 100 meters squared per second squared from both sides, these go away. It's 0. So we have this. Now we're making progress. Now we're just going to divide by minus 20 meters per second squared. And the reason why we do that is they cancel and we get the y by itself, right? On the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, the minus signs cancel. On the right-hand side, we just have y. Now it looks like this. Second squared cancel. One of the meter units cancel, like this. And we have 1 meter unit in the denominator. So we have 100 divided by 20 meters, and that's 5 meters. The answer is not 5. What this equation does is it tells you how high something will go if you throw it up at a speed of 10 meters per second. And the answer is 5 meters. If you give the answer of, if I throw something up at 10 meters per second, how high does it go? 5. Well, 5 what? The answer is a length, not a number. And you should get used to that. If you go to a job interview and the guy says, how far away do you live? And you say 7, it's not a good start to the interview. So in summary, when the same operation is applied to both sides of the equation, the equal sign is preserved, and that's the goal. Now it's going to take some time to efficiently isolate the unknown. And to develop this skill takes practice. And we have the workouts. It's up to you to do the workouts. So respect yourself, set your goals high, be a wolf. That's part 1.